You go.
How the overturning of Roe versus Wade disproportionately affects black women. June 24, 2022 is a historic day. On this day, the Supreme Court decided to overturn their decision of Roe versus Wade, meaning that after 50 years, women's rights to safe and legal abortions was no longer. In other words, giving states the power to decide whether abortions would be allowed in their states or not. Now, combined with the fact that over half of pregnancies in the United States are unintentional, there's no doubt that countless women are going to be affected. When coming up with my topic, I had two sources that connected to two stimulus resources. First, the Eloise Coble and Indian Trust Fund, a decades-long case in which Coble sought appropriate compensation for the government's blatant failure in treating or in providing compensation to the Indian people for their use of their land for their benefit, and the Confrontation on the Bridge painting. This painting depicts a group of black Americans peacefully protesting, but still being aggressively attacked by what's presumably police dogs, regardless of the fact that the violence was not warranted. Now, these two things came together and brought to me my idea that helped me birth my topic of racial disparities in the U.S. With that in mind, I came up with my research question of, does the overturning of Roe versus Wade disproportionately affect a particular race of women? After doing a small amount of research, I came up with my topic of how the overturning of Roe versus Wade disproportionately affects black women. Now, before getting into specific implications, it's important to consider just how many more abortions black women are using than any other race. Black women have the highest abortion rate, with 23.8 abortions per 1,000 women, showing just how crucial these abortions are to these black women. The main points that I'll be discussing in my presentation are financial and medical implications, as well as some context to show that they're already disadvantaged there, and a solution to my problem. First, financial impact. Now, financially, black women are already at a disadvantage because black Americans have the highest poverty rate than any other race, with a 17.1% being in poverty compared to other races, which is the highest. Now, and $300,000, many of these women are being forced into pregnancy, and $300,000 approximately is the cost to raise a child up to age 18 after the year 2020, according to Brookings, a research institute. Combining these two factors of an already financially struggling black population and the immense cost of raising a child, what we get is an undesirable or is a difficult dynamic for the mother and an undesirable, poverty-stricken childhood for the child. Not only will it have current implications, but it also have future implications on their financial life. The Turnaway study, a study conducted by University of California, San Francisco, which focused on women who were denied abortions and how it affected them, find that women who were denied abortions face lower credit scores, increased debt, and an increased number of negative financial records, such as these being things such as filing for bankruptcy. Now, my medical implications. Just like they are financially, black women are already at a disadvantage medically. This is because of medical biases in the medical, or negative biases that are racially motivated in the medical field. According to APA, the American Psychological Association, people stereotypically associate black women with poor sexual decision making and childbearing, which means they are less likely they're less likely to be believed when they say they need abortion, especially if they're poor. And as we see, they're more likely to be poor than other races. Now, these women being forced into pregnancy also puts them in grave danger because black women are statistically shown to be 3 times more likely to die from pregnancy-related causes than any other race. This graphic from the CDC gives us a visual of that, with them having the highest pregnancy-related death rate than any other race. Now, the counterpoint to my argument may be, some might say, what about birth control? However, according to WebMD, black women are actually the least likely race to use contraceptives. And this isn't out of sheer responsibility. This is because of factors that we discussed in this presentation, such as financial restrictions, making it very inaccessible for these black communities because of the costs associated with these contraceptive methods, and also medical mistrust that's created by the already in place medical biases in the community, leading these people to be less likely to trust a medical professional. Now, the solution to my issue, which I proposed, is a nonprofit organization, Planned Parenthood. With over 600 health centers in the United States, making it pretty accessible to most people, they offer affordable and accessible sexual and and reproductive health care services such as abortions, birth control, pregnancy testing, and affordable out-of-state trips to receive abortions in those states which abortions have been abolished. Now, to conclude my presentation, in conclusion, the overturning of Roe versus Wade is no doubt going to affect countless women and most women in the United States. However, as my research has shown me, black women are going to be affected worse than any other race, especially medically and financially, two areas where they're already at a disadvantage of. Medically, it's going to lead to a higher loss of life as more women are being forced into these pregnancies which are statistically shown to be more dangerous for them. And financially, it will lead to more financial struggle as they're being forced into child or motherhood, and also in an area where they're already struggling. And here are my citations.